Transformers Rise of the Beast was directed by Stephen Caple Jr. and is the most recent installment of the series that's been going for 16 years now. I was in high school when the first Transformers movie came out with Shia LaBeouf, and I remember my friends and I being very excited for it. We actually went to the midnight showing for that movie. It was a packed house. The action was incredible. I remember being really impressed with the sound design. Hearing the Transformers transforming mid-fight was something to experience for sure. But unfortunately, I've pretty much been disappointed with every Transformers movie that has come out since then. Of all the sequels, the one that I have enjoyed the most was actually the most recent, Bumblebee. I really enjoyed how they scaled down that story quite a bit. There was less Transformers in it for most of the time, and it really just focused on this small story between the main character and Bumblebee and their relationship. So going into this movie, I was hoping that they would follow that type of format, where it was a smaller story, character driven, and that maybe we'd be able to see something from Transformers that we haven't seen 1,000 times before. And for the first 30 to 45 minutes of this movie, I was pretty much on board. Our main character is Noah, who is presented as a very likable character in my opinion. We don't spend too much time with Noah and his family early on in this movie, but the time that we did spend with them I thought was used really well. Noah comes off very likable. He's a good son, he's a good brother, his family is struggling financially, and his younger brother also is dealing with an illness. So you're definitely rooting for Noah early on in this movie. It's set in 1990s Brooklyn, so there's a lot of good 90s hip-hop around. The scenery is really cool. There's even some 90s movie references in there that I enjoyed. I know there was a Dumb and Dumber reference. I know they talked about some earlier movies like Indiana Jones as well. But I was on board. Noah was the driving force early on in this movie. I sympathized with him, and I could understand the decisions that he was making. Unfortunately, once we get through that first 30 to 40 minutes of the movie and the Autobots are introduced, things really start to fall apart in my opinion. Instead of sticking with that small story that they had built up with Noah and maybe having the Transformers help him along his journey, we really just switched to a generic Transformers movie where they have to find a MacGuffin to try to get back to their home planet. This requires the Autobots and the human characters to actually leave Brooklyn and go to South America, which is where I feel like the movie starts to lose steam. You know, I really thought with Rise of the Beast being in the title that this movie would be a lot more focused on the Beast and bringing us a part of Transformers that we haven't gotten to see before. But unfortunately, the Beasts really felt like they were an afterthought in my opinion. You don't spend that much time with the Beasts, and most of the time that they're on camera, it's basically just standing around talking. When we do finally get to see the Beasts in action, it's very short, and it just doesn't feel different enough from the other Transformers variations that we have seen to justify the movie. In the third act, we're all expecting a big Transformers type battle, which I'm fine with. I just want to see something different or something exciting, or at least give me that feeling that I had in 2007 watching the Michael Bay Transformers. Unfortunately, this movie followed a lot of the same generic endings we've been seeing over the last 10-15 years. The ending of this movie actually completely reminded me of Ready Player One, which isn't really an original ending to begin with. It looks just like Ready Player One in my opinion, the scenery, and it's two armies of baddies going after each other and clashing. And it just wasn't enough for me to pull anything away from it that I haven't seen in many other Transformers movies before. The Beasts, or the Maximals as they're called in this movie, really do not do much in that final battle to justify the name being Rise of the Beasts. There's probably about 15 or 20 seconds of cool imagery with these Maximals transforming and fighting, but really it doesn't feel much different from any other Transformers battle you've seen in the past, and it was quite a letdown. So to wrap things up here, I really liked Noah in the first 30 minutes or so of this movie. Unfortunately, we just fell back into those old Transformers story points, and it never really picked off for me. I'm going to give Transformers Rise of the Beasts 4 out of 10. Thank you for watching my review of Transformers Rise of the Beasts. If you enjoy movie reviews like this, please like and subscribe.